Hi. All right. So in this video, I want to add more things and talk about more things, and yeah, make additions to all the things that I've talked about. Okay. So I will go over many things in and talk about them. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about, and yeah, so this is I want to talk about the concept of Omnivision. Okay, Omnivision. So I've talked about previously. I've talked about various concepts related to vision. Right. I've talked about things. I've talked about various concepts of vision. I've talked about night vision, color vision, thermal vision, gamma or X vision, and yeah. So in addition to these, I want to add the concept of omnivision, and like the as the name is, this is the concept of omnivision, and I kind of talked about this concept before, but I want to talk about it in a more direct way. Okay, so imagine with all the other various visions that I just talked about, imagine layering them. Okay, so I'm imagining layering them all together and a concept of omni knowledge. So these are all perspectives at once. This is omnivision, is vision not from just one perspective, but from all perspectives in all directions, in all of its possibilities, all simultaneously at once to create an omni vision of where there are all layers of vision, where there are all layers of night vision, color vision, thermal vision, gamma and X vision, and all of these things from all perspectives, on all points, in all pointing in all directions, coming from all directions, going in all directions, everywhere, all at once, in one unity of that is everywhere and all at once, and that is true visual um, how would I say it? True visual experience, an absolute visual experience where all all kinds of interesting concepts around vision can be thought of. Okay, imagine um, like the spectrum of colors. So I would imagine an expanded spectrum. Okay, an expanded spectrum with completely new colors, completely new qualia, completely new ways of observation, and all kinds of layers of information that these would create and transmit, all completely new colors and harmonies and beauties that it would create, and an incredible field of view and field of vision that it would create. And this would be in an omni sense where, like I said, it's everywhere, it's in all directions, it's here, this way, that way, everywhere. All of these things unified, and to create this expansion, this expanded visual experience. So that is the concept of omnivision. So there is so much more that I want to say about this. And um, yeah, so I think this is a great way for me to start off with this concept and talk about it. Okay, so I think this will give a great idea. So I can also imagine various other visual concepts, completely new visual physics in a sense. I guess and metaphysics, completely new visual metaphysics. I'm not sure if I would use the term physics, but rather metaphysics. Okay, so yeah, that is something that I wanted to add. Okay, I'm imagining new metaphysical concepts related to visuals and vision. Okay, and a beautiful visual visionary, and yeah, image and vision. Okay, so there is more to this. Okay, and Yeah, so that is something. And I kind of like I said, I kind of talked about it when I was talked about this concept when I was envisioning the various cities and various clusters of um, an interesting type of structures and so forth that I was talking about. And then that at that point I kind of talked about an omni perspective. Okay, so envisioning new things and with this kind of visionary ideas, it I think it relates to this concept of omnivision. Okay, so yeah, that is something that I wanted to add. Okay, so like I said, there is much more that I want to say about this. Okay, but this would be um, yeah, these are some thoughts so far. Okay, so is there anything more that I want to say about this? Okay, I think for now, yeah, for now this much. Okay, and I'll talk more about that. I'll talk more about this concept. Okay. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, like I was previously talking about, I was talking about various things about me and yeah. So okay. So I want to add more things. Okay. So I want to make the additions of um, my genetics, my class, my stature, my distinction, um, my artistry, my intelligence, my brilliance, my aristocracy, my gentry, my nobility, um, and I'll add more, okay? And these are in addition to the previous ones, to all the previous things that I've already talked about, okay? So these would add on to all the previous things that I've already said, okay, previously, okay? So these would be the additions, okay? So, mm, okay, so yeah, there would be uh, all the ones that I talked about previously, and these would relate, these would add, and it forms a collection. I don't know. It forms, it builds, it's building on itself. Okay, so that is something that I want to say. This so these are with all the previous ones that I said, and this and the ones that I will the ones that I will add, these will add on. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so all right, so the next thing I want to talk about is this is uh, a simple, I don't know, if no, it's not really simple, but okay. So this is something that I kind of was imagining and I was kind of thinking about, and I think it's an interesting concept and um, visual image. Okay, so I thought I would quickly talk about this. So this is beautiful, mild, cool, aqua blue waters. Okay, so yeah, that is something that a concept, a visual and sense, a concept of senses that I wanted to add. Okay, it's a sense of there's a sense of tranquility, a sense of beauty in this. Okay, so I was imagining I wanted to talk about this. Okay, so I think I'll say it once again. Um, Beautiful, mild, cool blue aqua waters. Okay, so yeah, that is another thing that I wanted to add. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is these are, again, this is kind of, these are kind of related, various, again, related to senses, okay? And a sensory experience, okay? So I'll just go over them, okay? So yeah, okay. So I'll just go over them in a way, and okay. So this is mild, climate, weather, cold. Okay, and these are all in. Okay, so imagine how. Okay, I'll just go over it and it'll make sense. Okay, so okay, I'll go over it again. Mild climate, weather, cold, dark, windy, stormy, snowy, icy, hot, chill, cool, um, cold water, cold pillow, cold blanket, chilling air, rain, drizzle, mist, and mild. Okay, so I went over a bunch of different uh, concepts, okay, and there is the experience of a certain mildness, a certain coolness, a certain chillness, a certain heat or a certain warmth, and a certain mildness, like I said, a mild sensation, a mild cool sensation, a sense of darkness, a sense of brightness, a sense of cool, bright, mild, energizing sense in a sense. And I kind of talked about with the previous ones, the previous one with the blue waters, the cool aqua blue waters. Yeah, um, yeah, that wasn't exact, but yeah, that's what. So I think this kind of goes with that, and I think it's an interesting sensing experience. Okay, and I think a visual experience as well. Like, for example, dark, windy, and stormy. This is also a visual experience. A windy experience. There is lots of movement. There is, for example, the movement of various trees in these smooth and uh, heavy but swift dance that the trees do in a windy and stormy kind of weather, in that darkness and in that thunderous, dark, energetic, stormy energy. It has its own dance that everything does. Everything is set into motion. There is that movement. There is a dance of nature in the way that this happens. Okay, and I think so. Like I was saying, that this is not just this is a layered sensory experience with various layers. There is the sense of the mildness, the sense of coolness, the sense of mist, the sense of visual movement, and the sense of movement that you feel, okay, and the sense of that windiness and so on. Okay, so there's lots of various concepts to go over in this, but I quickly mentioned them. Okay, so this would make sense, right? So I think there's a lot of great things to be thought of in this, and like it creates an interesting myriad of various ways of imagining an ambience. Okay, so imagine various colors with this as well. Like with certain times, there is that deep bluish type of environment. Sometimes it's a grayish type of environment with certain storms, thunderstorms. Sometimes it's this beautiful blue, bright blue sky, and the mildness that is with that, and a green pasture. And there are the beautiful oranges and reds of sunrises and sunsets. There are the beautiful pinks of sunrises and sunsets. Sometimes they can be yellows and oranges in certain types of clouds and environments. And sometimes they can be a very interesting type of blue and purple. As with lightning, there are interesting colors related to purple and so on. With okay, and of course there are like yellows with with golden sunlight and daylight, and yeah, so there is the darkness, the almost pitch black of night. There is the silver moonlight. So there are lots of colors here, and with all these various things, a very interesting visual ambient experience. Okay, and like I said, that coolness, that chill air, that mist, and all these other various things. There are, of course, the colors of the rainbow, and the rain and sunlight, and the combination, the interaction of rain and sunlight, which creates rainbows, and interesting colored rainbows can themselves have multiple layers, multiple layered rainbows, and interesting, very interesting concepts. Okay. So yeah, that is another one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so I'll continue on from here.